Hi, my name is Jen. Welcome to Stainless Steel, and we're gonna start our warm-up. So what I like to do with my warm-ups is I like them to imitate the movement that we're actually gonna be doing, but on a lighter version of that. So what I want us to do first is go in for our head circles. And let's rotate to our left side. Let's do 5 of those. Inhale, exhale. And then when we're done with that, I want you to go in the opposite direction. Awesome. And I want you to open and close. Open and close. Open and close. Open and close. And then now I want you to open. From here, I want you to drop your chest and trace your legs with your hands. What I want you to do is drop your heads and then bring your heads back and then close it up. And then again, open and close, open and close. Good. Now from here, I'm just gonna turn the chair to one side, right, like this. And we're gonna do some light trap push-ups, right? So we're gonna come out like this. And I just want you to pulse it out a little bit for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then come back. Awesome. Now from here, what I want you to do is lay back and give me some prances for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift yourselves up. From here, I want you to find the back of the chair and just simply hold. And from here, I just want you to walk it out. Just nice little walks, nothing crazy. Awesome. Now I want you to open up your legs wide and trace the chair. And then I want you to give me one semicircle hip roll to one side and then do the opposite. Now we're just gonna go side to side. Keep those legs super straight. Awesome, sauce. From here, I want you to come onto your tippy toes, arch that back, and we're gonna go for heel toe. And we're just gonna go up and down, warming up those hammies, warming up those calves. Awesome. Now from here, what I want you to do is bring your arm across your chest and palm to the back and hold for a couple seconds. Awesome, and release. And then let's do the opposite direction. Awesome. From here, guys, I want you to interlace your fingers, bring them above your head, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, exhale. Good. Now I want you to open up your legs wide, and then from here, come down. Inhale, exhale, at your own pace. And we're gonna go for 6 more. And 2 more. Awesome. Just gonna move the chair to the side just so you can see what I'm doing. I want you to come into a low squat, and I want you to tuck in the pelvis. And I want you to take that right arm and press that knee away from you and hold for a couple seconds. And then switch it out and do the opposite side. From here, guys, I want you to place both hands on the floor, bend your knees, and then straighten out the legs. I want you to give me a no with your head, and I want you to give me a yes with your head. Awesome. Now from here, we're gonna go into these bent squats. You're gonna bend, drop your hips down, and then straighten out the legs. If your hands are not flat, you could always get a book or a yoga block, but those hands need to be flat, and I really want you to engage those hamstrings, and I really want you to get into those hip creases. And then from here, guys, I want you to open up wider. Keep your hands flat on the floor and bend your knees. I want your hands to stay to center, and I want you to sway from side to side. And then when we're done with that, I want you to come into a forward lunge. Make sure your knee doesn't pass your ankle. And we're gonna pulse it forward and back for 5 seconds. And then we're gonna go up and down. Awesome. And then from here, you're gonna drop your knee to the floor and do your best to get your foot. If that's not happening today, I'll just take this. That's just fine too. But the goal is to grab that foot. And if you want a deeper stretch, bring the heel closer to the glute. Try to keep that knee straight, facing forward. From here, my favorite, runner stretch. What I don't want you to do is drop your butt. I want your butt to be up, and I want you to hover over that thigh. I want to flex foot and pointed toe. Do whatever feels good for you. And then from here, forward lunge, what I want you to do is really dig into that hip flexor and then roll it over to the other side. And again, continue forward and back. And up and down. And then from here, drop that knee and reach. Again, remember, if reaching is not possible today, that's fine. Just try to bend that back leg. And then from here, we're gonna come into our runner stretch. Try not to sit on your butt. Sit up, hover over that thigh, and point and flex. Okay, sweep the leg behind, guys. One of my favorites for the arms is reverse the wrist, palms to the floor, and gently go forward and back. Awesome. From here, you're gonna interlace your fingers, rotate your wrists, and then you're gonna go in the opposite direction. Okay, from here, bring your arms up, and I want you to engage those lat muscles. Really think about the movement. And then from here, guys, I want you to straighten out your arms and give me these little circles with your fists. And then go in the opposite direction. And then pulse it forward and back. Awesome. Now from here, guys, I want you to come and sit on your booty and then place your hands on the floor behind you. We're gonna come into a nice tabletop stretch. And then we're gonna lower ourselves down. If you have a mat, that's awesome. If you don't, that's fine too. We're extend your left leg, right knee in towards your chest. And I want you to get into the habit of pointing those toes always. We don't want legs that are in feet or that are not engaged. So point your toes to the ceiling, flex and point, flex and point, flex and point. Rotate your ankles and go in the opposite direction. Awesome. And then don't forget to do the other side. Knee tucks into your chest and peel your left leg up. Point your toes, flex your foot, point your toes, flex your foot, point your toes. Awesome. From here, place both feet on the floor. You're gonna squeeze those glutes and you're gonna come up and down gently. Don't worry. Just do your best. Awesome. And then from here, guys, I want you to roll it over on all fours. And we're gonna come into some cat-cows. Round out the spine. And then what I like to say is pop the booty up, round out the spine, and pop the booty up. From here, I want you to tuck your toes into the ground and come into a downward dog, heels down. If heels down is not a possibility today, that's okay, but I really want you to think about that for the future. Heels down. And then bring your feet to center and walk it out. And we're just gonna do a nice standing split. And we're gonna pulse it for 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we're gonna switch it. And pulse it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. From here, I want you to open up that left hip or whatever side you're on. It doesn't matter if it's not left. If it's your right, that's fine too. Open up that hip and hold for 5 seconds. Then we're gonna give ourselves 5 butt kickers. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I like it, good job. And then from here, you're gonna open up the opposite hip. And from here, hold it for a couple seconds. 5 butt kickers. 5, 4, 3, 2, and uno. And lift up. Bring your hands behind your backs. And what I want you to do is thrust those hips forward and allow yourself to go back. And then give me some hip circles to one direction. It doesn't matter. I know this feels strange sometimes. Don't worry, you're gonna make it your own soon. And then switch it out to the other side. Awesome. Shoulder roll back again. And then do the opposite direction. All right, guys, that's the warm-up. Now let's get started on the lesson. So let's just talk about some of the things you'll need. You'll need a chair. This is a fold-up chair. If you don't have one, a regular chair, your dining room chair will work as well. Just make sure it's sturdy. Water, and you can bring out the heels if you want. Friends, it's always fun to do chair with friends. So that's cool too, or bring your partner with you, whatever you want. But make sure that you're wearing comfortable clothing so that you can move, so no jeans. Shorts are good, but if you're gonna wear shorts, then you're gonna need knee pads probably, so keep that in mind. First, before we start the actual choreo and breakdown, what I wanna do is just talk about a couple fundamentals, okay? So I just want you to look graceful when you come out of moves and stuff like that. So I just want you to think about these things. They don't necessarily need to be added, but you should always think about them when you're doing it. So one of the things I wanna talk about is just twisting. When you're twisting, just make sure that back is nice and arched. All right, so that's one thing. Another thing too is we always lead with our bums, all right? So when we're walking or when we're coming out of something, we want to lead with our bums. So for example, we're going to end up on the floor at some point in this choreo, right? And you're gonna tuck your toes in, and you could always send the booty back if you like, or if you end up in a position, which this is the position you're gonna end up after the shoulder roll, right? You wanna close it up in a mermaid and then lift up onto your knees. I like to weight transfer a lot, it's my thing. So you'll put all the weight onto the bent knee, and then from here, get the other leg involved by lifting up. Now remember, I'm always gonna lead with my bum. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And then another thing I want you to work on is just simply walking around your chair, all right? Dragging your toes, messing those pedicures up, whatever you want. Just simply walking and dragging those toes. Just feel that out, okay? If your partner's on the chair, you might wanna tease them by just walking around them, looking, giving eye contact. Super important when we're performing. And that's one thing. And remember, when we're sitting down, booty down. And if you're not wearing shoes, always on the balls of your feet. That's always helpful, all right? And then from here, let's just talk about this part, which we're gonna get into when we do the breakdown in the choreo. And I want you to think about your legs always being super straight, okay? Pointing those toes, super important, especially even if you're wearing shoes. Honestly, you're supposed to point your toes. You want those legs to look active. You want these legs to look engaged, all right? The worst thing is you're doing something and your legs are just looking like noodles, okay? We want them to be engaged. You see the difference? This is the difference of, this is not engaged legs like this, and this is engaged legs. See that? So always think about engagement. Engagement is gonna force you to use your core more too, all right? It's very simple to just give me this and bypass the core, yeah? So when you're engaging, super engaged, that is gonna engage that core, I promise you, okay? Keep that in mind as well. And let's get started. guys. Well, that was the routine that we're gonna be practicing today. Now it's time for me to break it down. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna stand behind the back. We're gonna be behind the chair, sorry. And I wanna see your back arched, okay, when we're doing this. The first thing we're gonna do is go in for these walks in place, right? So you're gonna take your right leg and you're gonna bring it in front of your left. And then I like to drag my feet with it, but you can give it a prance if you like that look too. Don't worry, create your own style, okay? So one leg goes in front of the other and the other one follows. We're gonna do everything in fours, okay? I'm not a conventional dancer, obviously. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now from here, I want you to open up your legs, and what we're gonna work on next is your figure eights. Figure eights, right? So let me just show you what you're gonna look like. You're gonna bring one knee in and then out. Remember, these feel weird at first, but what's really important is that you pivot and that you stay on the balls of your feet, right? And one knee goes in and you let it come out, and then the other one goes in and then you let it come out. Remember, don't worry, your body is not gonna move like mine. Create your own style. And when you're doing this, you can add hips and head rolls. Let's talk about head rolls, because head rolls are always really awkward for people. So I'm just gonna sit down so you can see what I do with my head. You just really have to relax. What happens is people just go crazy and they just don't relax. So when you're doing this, just think about dropping your head and allowing your ear to meet your shoulder, and then bring the crown behind your neck, and then again, ear to shoulder. And then feel that out first, okay? Because I know this is the hardest thing to do and feel sexy with it. It takes some time and practice, but you also have to create some awareness and figure out how you like your body to move. So this is the head rolls, okay? They're gonna come back to you a lot in a lot of different movements, okay? So let's just practice the head roll like we did for the warm-up. I know when I first started doing head rolls, they felt really awkward. And then eventually I just allow myself to just feel how I want my head to roll. Okay, so we're going to go into the 4 walks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I would like you to open up just to set yourself up for the figure eights. And the figure eights look like this: 1 knee in, 1 knee out, 1 knee in, 1 knee out. And guys, I'm not wearing any shoes, but if you want to wear your heels, you feel free to do that. So knee in and knee out, knee in and knee out. Beautiful. Now from here, we're gonna simply walk to the front of the chair. Now when we're walking, guys, I want you to make it a habit to think about your walk, okay? A lot of people just go and walk and it looks a hot mess, right? So what you want to do is literally same kind of walk you were doing behind the chair, but now actually walking. So you're gonna walk and you can drag your toes and then sit down. Remember, when we're sitting down, we want this back to be arched. We don't want to just sit down like this, right? We want to have that nice, sexy posture. And then from here, what I'm gonna ask you to do is come to the side of the chair. Then I'm gonna have you scooch down, and I want your booty to come to one side of the chair. And all you're gonna do, you can place your hand on the floor like this. And remember, with chair, everything's about balance, okay? So you shouldn't feel like you're gonna fall off this chair, all right? So let's just break that down a little bit in regards to like the balance, right? So if I am in this position, I don't wanna send everything to one side, or I'm gonna fall off the chair, right? And we don't want that. So always think, I need to create a balance. If I'm laying on the chair, I want there to be equal balance. And if I'm hanging from the side of the chair, I also want to have equal balance. So always think equal balance, okay? If you're not thinking equal balance, then you're just gonna fall, okay? And we don't want that. So we're here, and we want to simply go into these prances, okay? Be careful not to give me these, all right? A lot of people do that. Think about your movement. Bend the knees, take your time, And think about how you want to look when you're doing this, okay? So that is the prance while you're laying on the chair. Now from here, what you're gonna do is simply, again, balance transfer. Nothing goes to one side more than the other. Balance transfer, and then from here, what I'm gonna do is grab the back of the chair, right? And open into a straddle. Now I know pointing your toes sometimes in the beginning is a little bit frustrating and you think that you can't do it, but you can. It just takes practice. So after the class today, you should practice these flexing and pointing of your toes. Eventually the toes and the feet are gonna get real flexible and they're gonna be doing it. Now from here, again, the same difference. The only difference here with these prances is that the legs are in a straddle, but you're doing the same motion like you're pedaling a bike. Yes, yes. Awesome. Now from here, again, balancing the chair. I'm putting weight on the back of the chair with these legs. That is gonna allow me the ability to lower myself down. What I don't wanna do is lower myself down and lose contact with the chair with my legs, right? So I want the legs to stay on that chair and I'm kind of gripping it with my knee picks, okay? So I'm here and I hold the sides and I allow the crown and I lower myself down and I allow the crown to hit the floor. Now, still putting weight on the back of that chair. I'm gonna push off and still, as you notice, my feet and my legs are not leaving that side of the chair until I place the upper part of my back on the floor. For that, I'm going to have to slide down a little bit. Still, again, I want to stress, I am keeping weight on the back of that chair. And then from here, I'm on the upper back, and then I can loosen up the legs and release them, because now I'm safely on the floor. Okay, now I know sometimes keeping my butt in the air, or for some people keeping your butt in the air could be a little bit hard, which is normal, but remember you have the chair behind you, so use that, and don't be afraid to grab the legs to hold you in place there, okay? So this is kind of like your crutch right now, okay? And then from here, you're just gonna open into a straddle, like so, and I'm just flexing and pointing, but you're gonna point. And then, let's talk about a shoulder roll, okay? So, what you're gonna do is transfer the legs over to the shoulder you're rolling over. Like a lot of people see this and they think it's a flip. It is a flip, but it's an illusion, okay? So what you're doing here is you're gonna hold this position for your audience, and from here, send all the weight over to the shoulder that you wanna roll over. Okay, I'm gonna roll over my right shoulder. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send my legs over to one side. What happens to most people is they drop their butt, and that is why they can't do the shoulder roll correctly right away. So let's talk about that. What you wanna do is keep your booty in the air, okay? And you wanna wait until your legs make it to that right shoulder. So let's do that again. So you're here, and again, don't forget, I want to stress, keeping those legs active. Everything's working, okay? Push, 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 and get the bottom of the chair to your waist. And then from here, lower yourself back, and then you're on the upper parts of your back, your shoulders, sorry. And then from here, look what I'm doing. And we're gonna go into that right shoulder, and I like to have one leg out and one leg bent, and especially if you're not super flexible, this is a real good illusion. Looks like you're super flexible and you're doing the damn thing. I'm sorry, can't say that right. Sorry. Okay, sorry. All right, and then from here, guys, you're gonna simply come up, and what I like to call this, this is not a very pleasant feeling at first, but when you do it right, and you put the back of the chair in the right meaty part of your pelvis area, it does not feel bad. So what happens is people put it right on the bone. We don't want it on the bone, okay? So we want the belly to pass the back of the chair, and I like this part of the chair to kind of be in the upper thighs. So I'm here, and again, you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to creating balance on the chair. I put weight with my arms, and I put weight with my thighs. That is gonna allow me to balance. What people do sometimes is they don't put enough weight on the arms, and that's why the pelvis in this area feels weird. You will probably be a little bruised tomorrow, but it's all worth it at the end. So put some weight on that chair, and then from here, hold it, okay? And then from here, you can play with your legs if you like, whatever feels good for you, okay? So from here, this is also an illusion, and I am going to show it to you. First and foremost, what you're gonna do is drop your chest to the bottom of the chair and hold. This is pretty impressive. People think this is awesome. Pretty simple. All you're doing is bringing your chest down, and you can make any shape you want with your legs. Okay, guys, don't worry if you don't do everything in the right sequence, all right? Just know the moves and put them together how you feel fit, okay? So that's one. I like to call that the plank. And then the next one is, I'm gonna do it, which is you place yourself on the chair, and from here, you're gonna take the shoulder, it's a shoulder stance. You're gonna take the shoulder and your right arm, and you're gonna hold the back of the chair. Again, as you can see, I'm putting weight with that bottom thigh, the right one. That is keeping me balanced. That is how I'm not falling off this chair. But once I stop engaging these legs and putting weight, I run into the problem that, I could run into the issue of falling. And then putting weight on the shoulder, making sure I'm balancing, always balancing on the chair. This is a flimsy chair, we all know that. But if we learn to balance our weight, it'll be easy, okay? But the modification to this one, I call this the baby sister, is the one that I showed you previously. And that's just this, getting to understand the balance, okay? So for you experts or intermediates, you might want to try the shoulder one, and that's cool. But if this is your first time and you want to take it a little easy, just practice putting weight on the back of the chair and dropping your chest, and enjoy that. That's just as sexy. All right, and then from here, back to the transfer, and legs come down. All right, guys, so now we're gonna do it together, okay? And you're gonna hear my cues, and just go with me. If you make a mistake, don't worry. We're gonna have fun, we're gonna get this together. Head roll 1, and head roll 2, and head roll 3, and head roll 4, guys. Now we're gonna walk in place. Drag those toes, bend those knees. That's 2, and 3, and 4. Now I want you to open up your legs, and 1. We're gonna go into our figure 8s. 3, and 4. Beautiful. Now remember, we're gonna simply walk to the front of our chair and bend and turn, and we're gonna scooch down to the edge of the chair, and we're gonna go into those prances we learned, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Then from here, you're going to simply twist. And remember, keeping those legs engaged, open and straddle. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Then we're gonna close it up. Bend those knees, place your hands down by the legs, and remember, we're gonna wait for that crown to touch the floor. Then we're gonna release our legs, get onto the upper parts of our shoulders, and open into a straddle. From here, same leg waves, prances that you learned from the beginning, and just simply take your time, enjoy the process, and then I want you to open into a straddle, and you can place your hand on the floor, you can reverse your wrist, and then stand all the the weight over to that right shoulder. In process, we wait for that knee to drop, and then we can come up. We want to send that hair back, and then find the chair. We can kind of come into a sexy come up, and send always that booty back. Now from here, we're going to come into our beginner stance. Remember, all the way onto the bottom of the chair, and then from here, lean forward and hold. You can give me whatever shape you like. No pressure, whatever is good for you. Now, for my intermediate, we're going to place our shoulder down, find the back of the chair, and again, we're placing all the weight onto the back of the chair, shoulder down, and hold. You can passe, you can straighten, you can do whatever you like here. Just don't fall off this chair. And then from here, take your arm out, needle it through, and push. It's a pretty stance. You can hold this there, and then drop it down. From here, you're gonna come in front of your chair, open those legs. Let's work on those head rolls. And then go in the opposite. You can go into those prances we just learned. And you can open and dive forward. And let your head go down. Send that hair back. Remember, back arch. And come back to the back of the chair if you like, whatever you want here. Enjoy the process. Open. Prance again. Awesome. Bend the knees. We're gonna go back down. Remember, get the crown there first. Then you can release those legs a little bit. Still putting weight onto the back of that chair. Release. Hold the legs of the chair. Open into a straddle. And come into this prance. This time, I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna go to my left side. So one thing you wanna keep in mind is when you're doing all this stuff, make sure you do both sides, okay? Just so that both sides are getting love. Okay, so I'm gonna send everything over to my left side, not my great side, but I still have to do it. And out I go. And then you can get up. And always, when we're getting up from the chair, from the floor, we wanna send the booty back first. Bring the chair close, remember, to the hip creases. And again, wait, come down, find that stance. All right, guys, we've come to the end. Thank you for watching Stainless Steel. I'm Jen from Pole to Pole Fitness. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our cool down. This is just to relax the body because we put it through a lot today. So let's get started with the cool down. It's gonna be super simple and just relaxing. So don't worry. If you wanna relax, just look at the cool down. You could do that too. But I do recommend that you participate in the cool down. So let's get started. So let's bring one ear to one side and then the other. Awesome. Awesome. And then I want you guys to stand up and then allow your body to come forward. And drop your heads down. And then I want you to rock from side to side. I want you to grab your elbows and let your heads come between. And rock from side to side. Be gentle to yourselves. Do what you need for yourselves. Awesome. From here, I want you to open up your legs and bring your right hand to your left ankle and bring your left palm, face it out. You can flicker the wrists up and down, roll it out, do what you need for yourselves. And then let's do the opposite direction. And grab that ankle and roll out the wrist, flex the wrist, do what you need for yourselves. And then from here, lower yourselves down and stay in this squat for a little bit. Rock your heads from side to side. Awesome. Now from here, guys, you're gonna roll onto your backs. And we're gonna go in for a nice spinal twist. You're gonna grab that right side, and look over to your left shoulder and gently get that nice spinal twist in. And then we're going to go to the other side and bring that right knee over to your left side and look over that right shoulder. Awesome sauce. From here, guys, if this is not possible, that's okay. But for those who want to plow back, this is awesome for the back. So plow back. If you're still working on plow, I'll take your legs just up here. And if that's still not possible, just lift your legs up and flex and point. Whatever is good for you. Yes, this feels good. And then from here, lift yourselves up. And then I like to go into a nice pigeon pose. And when you're doing your pigeon pose, what I would like to see you guys do is learn to square off your hips and place the calf on the ground. And you can give yourself a nice stretch here. And then I like to lower myself down. And you can give yourself a nice rock from side to side. And then from here, guys, you can open up your legs and reach forward. And if you want, just relax here. If this is too much for you, I'll just take this today. That's cool too. And then let's do the other side. And hold into your pigeon. And then lower it down. Awesome. And then from here, guys, lift up into your downward dog and gently walk it out. And then from here, I like to open up my left hip back to what we did earlier in the warm-up. And then let that leg come back and lift up and hold and release. And let's do the other side. Open up that hip and lower that foot down and lift up. And then from here, drop to your knees. I want you to open up your legs wide and come into a child's pose. And rock the hips from side to side. And then walk your hands over. And give your side body a nice stretch. And then do the other side. And then from here, lift yourselves up, look up to the ceiling, prayer hands. And guys, you are all set. Good job. I'll see you in the next one.